What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another video, and this one, it's another closing of the old chapters kind of thing. This is one that I've touched upon before, but I want to just really sort of highlight the fact that, as the thumbnail would suggest, while Daniel and Johnny are just at a crossroads, they're at loggerheads. They're against each other. It's turned into a complete cluster, right? Across the whole show, but there's one moment in particular that sticks out like a sore thumb. It's after the vandalism of the Miyagi dojo, and Daniel storms on over there. Quite an emotional moment beforehand, actually, as well, you know, where it's playing the memory of him, you know, with Mr. Miyagi, and Mr. Miyagi says, "Choose," and then, you know, you just sees his car graffitied and all that. So he storms on over to the dojo, right? Standard session in progress. Daniel comes over, well, you know, I think rightly so, saying, "Hey, what the hell?" Johnny obviously has no clue to what's going on. Unbeknownst to him, Kreese has been sort of, you know, luring and manipulating and pulling the strings behind the scenes. And I remember before Season 3 released, in the Roundtable discussion I did with that was hosted by Team Rubalcava, shout out to him if he's watching, with a bunch of other Cobra Kai creators, there was a question raised, you know, who was at fault for the school fight, and I think collectively everyone had a part to play. Everyone had a part to play in the school fight, and everyone was at fault in some way. But I think if you're really looking at it objectively of who was the chess master, who was the one who was moving the pieces along, that was Kreese. 100%, no doubt in my mind. And this is why in Season 3, it amplifies Kreese using Hawk and twisting him and bending him to his will, because he knows he can use Hawk's vulnerability in his favor. So I also think, you know, Kreese, for one thing, I don't think he would have wanted Hawk to leave. I think he saw Hawk as a valuable asset, as someone he could exploit and use to his own game. So it'd be interesting to see how he responds to that. But it's that moment in Season 2 when he's like, you know, the fight isn't over until you say it is. And it just kicks off this whole thing. It just brings this right down. And I've always said that in mid-season, something usually happens. In Season 2, all this chaos happened. In Season 3, Robbie and Juvie with his fight, the arcade fight, CHOZEN teaching Daniel. There's a lot that happens usually around mid-season. It's when it's sort of like the midpoint climax before the cool-off, before the final climax sort of thing. And just seeing these two go at each other in the Cobra Kai dojo, they're arguing with each other, they're squaring off, and the camera's positioned in such a way where Kreese it's not focused on him, but he's just in the wings, he's just right in the middle, just dead square, right in the middle between these two. And if that isn't symbolic storytelling, I don't know what is. It's literally him just standing there, right in the middle, enjoying the chaos. And I think that was a way of him testing Johnny to see, hey, Johnny, are you up to the task? And then that, you know, that leads into him going, you know, I'm getting worried about you, Johnny. Because this is his way of testing Johnny to see if he could be the student that Kreese wanted him to be, or still wants him to be from back in the day to now, if he's willing to do what is necessary. He's trying to force Johnny to see it from his point of view without actually talking to him about it, by making a series of events and a load of things in motion that set up the whole thing. And what's interesting to me about it is it further not only goes into Season 3, but it's going to be interesting to see how they balance this with Silver coming in, because as much as Kreese is a manipulator and he pulls the strings, Silver is also a manipulator. He will bend things to his will. He will assault people verbally, physically. It's going to be interesting the level that it adds and the gravity that it adds to this show. But I think if we're looking at things, you know, across the past 3 seasons, I think we can sort of categorically say that Kreese is just right in the middle, enjoying playing Daniel and Johnny like against each other. And that was the real fuel for the school fight, at least in my opinion. Every character had their own personal reason for the school fight, but I think as a collective, Kreese definitely stuck a claim for pushing these guys together. And when it's a great reversal, it's a very great reversal when Johnny and Daniel are they've argued, they're reaching the point of where it's boiling point. One of them's gonna land a blow, and Daniel says to him, you know, I'm not gonna strike first. That was well done. I like that. That was good. And then the camera cuts to Kreese. He's standing there, and it's almost as if he's like, okay, Johnny, let's see. Are you up to the task? And I think Johnny pulling away and saying, I'm going to be the bigger man, I think that disappointed Kreese. But also, Kreese has done it in a way where either way he wins. So if Johnny strikes first and knocks Daniel cold on his ass, he wins. If Johnny doesn't strike first but the students still leave, he wins, because it's a way of him weeding out what he sees as weak from his dojo, which is then amplified in Season 3 by the minute he kicks out Bert with the Clarence incident. Maybe Bert would learn to stop, just tell Bert to stay away from animals. He gets the mongoose thing wrong, and Johnny's like, a real animal, Bert. He looks at Clarence, he gets kicked out the dojo, he goes to get, stroke a cat, and he gets thrown through a window. I think that rhymed. No more animal incidents for Bert. I think Bert's going to look at every animal now and just go, dude, get that thing away from me. There's always something that happens if I go near animals. But Bert was the first to be kicked out. Then Mitch was taken out by Kyler, and Kreese was like, right, you're out. So I think it's just a way of because he doesn't have direct control at this point, he's doing it in a behind-the-scenes kind of way. And that's why I said it's amplified in Season 3 by when he does it. When he has full control, he doesn't need to do any pulling of the strings. He's just like, you're off the team. Get out! And Bert's like, what? What? I said, out! Get! And then, you just see little Bert wandering off in the distance. Felt bad for him there. But essentially, it's just a nice sort of way of viewing Kreese across this show, that he's just the master manipulator. He's the chess master. He moves the pieces where he wants them, and he lets the chess pieces fight his battles for him without him having to do a thing. Until he gets to Season 3, then he starts to get more involved in that kind of way. But throughout Season 2, he's more of just coercing people, discussion, talking to them. And I can definitely see Silver doing something along the lines of that. I think we've discussed this before here on this channel, that the way Silver will do it is he'll do it similar to what he did with Daniel in Karate Kid 3, where Daniel knows him, but the kids don't. The newer kids do not. So maybe Silver could use that to his advantage. But seeing how it parallels with the way Kreese does it, that's going to be interesting. Who becomes the master manipulator? Or do they just both become agents of chaos, where they just love watching shit ensue? Smoking cigars and going perfect as people are beating the crap out of each other. It's up in the air. But guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. This isn't so much a scene analysis. This is just one of them things that I picked up across the show. And it's one of my favorite frames in the show, is Daniel and Johnny face to face with Kreese slap bang right in the middle. Right in the middle of it. Literally an agent of chaos, just watching these two just absolutely lose their rag with each other. And he pulls each string with such charm and grace. And then it's then amplified even more by when they go to the council meeting to save the All Valley. And he's like, Council Person Roberts. And he's like, I've been a positive influence on the thousands of students that I've taught. And Johnny's like, horse shit, all that jazz. When he starts to become more involved, you really see how cunning Kreese is as a villain. And I think me and TCK, we were discussing this with Strike First and Boxius yesterday. If you haven't seen that stream, go and check it out. It's in the community tab. But essentially, we were saying, I feel like Kreese has a lot within his story to have a Darth Vader style redemption, where he dies with that redemption. But the flip side of that is maybe he doesn't die with redemption. Maybe he just dies. Maybe the way he goes out is just a tragic death. And the flashbacks just serve to the tragedy of it. You could go that route. You could honestly go that route. As far as where Terry and John go from here, I could see Silver saying something along the lines of, I'm getting worried about you, Johnny. The same way Kreese said to Johnny in Season 2, I'm getting worried about you, Johnny. I could see a seed being planted there. It all depends on execution. As for redemption for Mr. Terry Silver, that is not on the cards. I don't want redemption for him at all. I want him to be bad to the bone, evil, villain, whatever you name it. I know we're in this day and age now where they've added a lot of grey, a lot of nuance to characters, and we're removing that black and white lens. But I really, really want Terry to be the big bad. Kreese is King Cobra, and he's the OG one, but I want Silver to be the main I want him to be the real villain, and him being a villain is different than Kreese being a villain. Kreese being a villain is evil, he's dastardly, you never know what his next move is. Silver is unpredictable, he's a loose cannon, he's damn near insane, and Lord knows what's happened in the time since we last saw him. But as I've said before, think about the teaser that we got for Terry Silver. Listen to his second line. You can hear rumbling of chains in the background. There is a sound of chains being rustled. Now, I'm thinking maybe that was just put in there from the new dialogue, but what if that has weight into what Silver does this season? I'm just throwing it out there. Guys and girls, jump in the comments section down below. Let me know, are you Eagle Fang? Are you Cobra Kai? Are you Miyagi-Do? Are you Topanga Karate? You let me know. And yeah, I mean, hey, as I've said, it's... Let's end, what am I going to end it with? Don't know what line to end it with. Oh, there you go, I got it. I like that, Johnny. I like it. I'm going to use it. Oh, that was terrible. See you guys.